Now it's time for a panel discussion. I have asked 4 of the artists of this exhibition to come here, and from Artists O there is Virpi Vesanen-Laukkanen, please come to sit here, and Piia Lieste, please come. And from Fiber Art Sweden there will be Maria Sandstig, please, and Katarina Källström. And please come here and open your microphones. And I hope that no, not you can open it by when it's green, it's open. And so we have made this link exhibition as a collaboration between artists with artists who are members of Artists O and the members of Fiber Art Sweden. And first, before we start, I ask you to introduce yourself and tell a little bit what kind of art you are doing. And maybe Virpi, you can start.
Yeah, I'm Virpi Vesanen-Laukkanen, as she told, and I am textile artist, and I make textile art, also another kind of art, but mainly textile art, and I like to use recycled textiles as also in this exhibition, and yeah, that's shortly me.
Thank you. And Maria?
My name is Miia Sandstig, and I have it. Okay. If the green light is on, then it's on.
Okay, now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, my name is Miia Sandstig, and I'm an artist, and I usually work in different materials. It depends on what context, and yeah, and what the place looks like. In this exhibition, I used fishing line, and yeah.
So, thank you, Maria.
Yeah.
And Katarina?
Yes, my name is Katarina, and I'm also artist and work with textile as a kind of base, but it also the media depends on where and I should exhibit and so. And I often work in collaborations. Here in Hanaholmen, I work with my performance group, Hugger Mugger. We are 3 artists that have been working together for 20 years now. But I also do other work with other collaborations and projects with other artists.
Thank you. And Piia, can you tell about yourself?
Okay, my name is Piia Lieste, and I'm a material-based artist, and I'm working with clay and ceramics. And I do sculpture and environmental art mostly.
Thank you. And now, before we start, I just discussed with Virpi there at lunchtime and asked her that perhaps she could tell more about the history of this collaboration between Fiber Art Sweden and Artists O. And if Maria, you want to say something to that, please.
Yeah, I tell shortly because there are long roots. This project, I think that the first starting point was a presentation exhibition of Artist O 2008 in Vantaa Art Museum. I had the crochet line Pitsibussi, and then I was I think it was same year, I was invited to Malmö. I don't remember who invited me, but Swedish artists, maybe FAS or some other organization. And I told about the crochet line, and I met there Inger Bergström, another artist who is working with Lotte, and they have this video there. And then 2011, I was invited by FAS to the Points of Departure Urban Art festival or urban art happening in Stockholm. And yeah, I was there 2011. Now I have to check what happened after that. It took some years. And 2017, I was the member of Artist O Board, and we have had urban art events in Helsinki and in Tallinn, and we were discussing to having it somewhere abroad, and we were. Then I remembered, I have been in Stockholm in Urban Art Festival. We have to contact FAS. And yeah, we contacted FAS, and 2018 we got a small grant from Finnish Swedish Foundation, and Annette Hackman and Merja Ranki and me, we visited FAS in Stockholm, and we were talking about this project and then the exhibition, and then happened maybe it was 2020 when Katja Kotikoski came here and was talking about having an exhibition here, and so here we are.
Maria, do you want to say something more?
Maybe I should say something about FAS. No, yeah. I want to tell something about FAS, because Fiber Art Sweden, it's FAS. We have been, we was founded in 1998 in Sweden, and we are now 34 members. And FAS is a network of artists working with the textile means, methods and practices, and we work in the extended field. And we promote exhibitions, seminars and workshops and discussions within the textile interest sphere, and we work quite organic. And our members take the initiative for projects and so on. And we don't have any gallery or so, but our homepage is our stable location. And we are really happy to be here and honored to be here with you. And it's really nice, from when we invited you in, I think actually it was 2011. No, 2010, sorry. Yeah, point of departure, yeah.
So we can see that the collaboration took a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because it's not like that please come here and then do something together and the next one. But we need time to learn to know each other and learn a good way to collaborate. And this exhibition has been compiled in collaboration between the artists. What do you think about collaboration? Do you find it important, or if it's not important, why? And why it is important? And Virpi, you can start. Let's go like a line. But I hope that if you have something to say, please just say it, because I think that it's better than if you are just one, and then the second. But about collaboration.
Of course, everyone knows my answer because I am here, so it's important. And
but why?
Why? Yeah. So I didn't write answers for these questions. I wrote something else, but it's as you said, it's important to learn to know each other. for example, just Swedish artists, as you told, you work in a different way. Your organization, for example, is so different, or you don't have organization. We have a strong organization where we work Artisto and Ornamo, and then so it's so important to learn to know each other also like this way. Like I have been so happy to be Swedish guest host this week. So it's also, we have been working together earlier, but by Zoom, or by writing emails. So it's different. But now when I have been with all Swedish artists, nearly all Swedish artists, we have been traveling in Vallisaari, in Artist Island, Harakka, and so on, and talking about everything. Maybe a little bit also about art, but maybe about life and having fun. So this is also very important. But maybe you'll ask later about working during Corona time. So. Yeah.
And Maria, what do you think? Perhaps we all think that collaboration is important, but why it is important?
Why? Because in somehow you also get to know yourself and your art, because you exchange ideas, and we talk about art, and you have to express yourself in a way. In another way, when you collaborate with someone, and it's interesting, it forces you to talk and express yourself, and you also get inputs from your partner.
Yes. And what about Katarina? What do you think?
Yeah, as the speakers before me, I agreed, and also it's both about the ones I and Pia had, and it's that you spoke about earlier, that we really need to cooperate with each other for the whole climate and everything, and also cooperate with it's the non-profit organizations, collaborates with established museums, and that thing is going on in Sweden right now. So it's and also, as you spoke earlier, with that crafts and public work, that you work together with architects and designers and so on. So it's important in all levels, I think.
And Pia, what's your opinion about the importance of cooperation?
So in a cooperation we done, so we got to reflect our work, and I think like artists work alone quite often, so it's very important to wide up, and it was very interesting when it's not your own country to wide up or open up to this direction. Yes, and
so maybe I will ask you.
I have a stupid question. I didn't hear Katarina's last name.
Källström.
Källström. Thank you. Thank you.
So perhaps we will continue with you, Pia, and then we go. and how do you feel the collaboration with another artist affects your own artistic process? Are there any difference when you compare your artist work in general with the work you do for this exhibition?
so when I got to work with Hukkermukker, I pronounce it correctly. So it really made me to look at my own practice and to see how you work and to see your previous work and to understand how you like experience the environment and the space. So it really made a huge impact for me. And then I kind of started to look at where I am and this little space that I working in. So then it kind of started for me, the working process also.
Thank you. And Katarina, what do you think about Huggermugger's working process?
Yes, yeah,
comparing-
it really sharpens your mind when you should start talk to Pia. You have to, as Maria said, try to explain your work for someone else. And also, I think we get really inspired by Pia's. And we had a discussion. We read a text as a starting point, and then we start to just discuss things, and we send sketches and pictures to each other, and it really inspired us, I think, to see Pia's work.
Thank you.
Can I say something
Yes,
small?
please.
Yes. And from the discussions that we had, and then I took something small things out of it, and it led to these buckets, because in the text there was this Kafka's story, this bucket rider, or what was it called in English, and then the way that you treated all the objects. So then it's like really changed for me, this point of view. And yeah, you continue.
Thanks. And Maria and Virpi, you have worked together beforehand too. And what do you think about the influence of collaboration to your own artistic work? You can start, Maria eller Virpi.
As you said, it forces us to express ourselves in different ways. And I think this starting point for us, you talk about the text, it was Italo Calvino's text about lightness in his book 6 Memos for Next Millennium from 1993. So we were, the text tells also about lightness, which we often choose. We choose in our life things which feel light, but they will be, when time goes on, it might be unbearable weightness. So that was the one starting point also, and it was for me the starting point and very important text. And I think, what did you ask? but we had this lightness, and we had this lightness in. We found that we both have. We are interested in material which is light. And maybe your work came at first.
I don't know, but we had we realized we could take. Virpi was talking about her the fabric polyester clothes, and then I thought, and then I thought, oh, like I have used a fishing line, so we wanted to work with that, and then we kind of started and discussed, and I mean the text was the beginning, and then we realized as lightened as Virpi said, it can start light and then it's quite heavy, and I mean polyester, nylon, everything. When the fabric was discovered, then I mean it was to help people to put on light clothes. You didn't have to iron then, and nowadays it's not that. I mean, it's somehow destroying our world.
Yeah, these light things, they turn to weight, weight in our planet.
Yeah.
And so we will continue with you there. That what do you think? What was the most rewarding and most difficult part of the collaboration between the artists? About your opinion?
Starting. Like it's always.
Yeah.
I didn't check our emails, and also we have been talking so much by Zoom, so I don't remember exactly. I didn't have time to check how we started, but I think it took quite long time to start and to find what are we doing.
Yeah, what we are going to do, which material, and it was difficult because we wanted to meet in real life, and we couldn't. And that was a part. Yeah, and sometimes it's you have to think an extra time because we have to talk English. But because I know Virpi, and then when we didn't find the word, we could say it in Swedish or English or whatever, German.
Yes, but after that we have found out what we are going to do. I think I said yesterday that this was the most easiest and most nicest work I have ever done, because I had the limits. They were limit was your work, and I think I support your work because we hang it at first, and then I see how I place my artworks. So, and I had measurements where to put my artworks. So, after that it was ilo, happiness.
And what about Katarina and Piia? What do you think? What was the most rewarding and most difficult part of the collaboration?
Well, at first it was nervous. We had the opportunity to pick Piia as our partner, and just by seeing your artworks. So then when you should start the conversation by Zoom or some digital media, and you have this screen, and it's difficult, but I think we managed that. And the rewarding thing is absolutely to see it on place now, on display, so that it kind of worked out.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, there was this obvious obstacles of this technology, and then also the language, but I like to work against this kind of borders. I think you find a lot of creativity also there, that when you have some borders that you need to work inside, so it's helping you. But for me, the main struggle was the time. I think that we had really, really short time to pick up the work together, especially that we're working together, that now I feel like my work that I have here, it's the laboratory states that like I couldn't test everything as long as I would have wanted, but now it's happening. So
you can test it now.
Yes, it's happening there. And the most rewarding was to really see how we was feeding each other work, and the results in the end, that I think it's working perfectly together.
And so perhaps you will continue what about your future? Would you like to continue collaborating with an artist partner in general? Of course, because you are now working together, and I suppose that it's quite easy to continue the collaborating with each others, but in general, I mean, what do you think about collaboration at all?
I really enjoy collaboration, especially when it's some other art form that it's not my specialty. So I feel that I get really a lot from this, and this is really like what I would look for in the future.
And what about you, Katarina?
Well, I used to work in collaborations and in projects that are collective process together, where we could end up in one piece and one art piece, but we are 8 artists doing it. And that is, I think, very interesting thing to work like that. you can compare it with a choir or an orchestra or a theater ensemble where you do things together. I have worked with that, and I think that is interesting. So go on, keep on, keep on and collaborate.
What about Maria and Virpi? What do you think about collaboration in general? Not only with you both.
No, I agree with the former speakers, Pia and Katarina. I like to work with other artists, and I think it's demanding, but it gives you so much as well. I mean, I think like every other relationship or working partner, it goes like this. You have to get to know each other. But I mean, I think it's I like that, and I want to to keep on doing it.
Yeah, I can just say that when you do things together, as you said, when you know each other and you feel comfort and trust each other, I think you really can achieve that, or you can step forward and do something on top of what you ever could do by yourself.
Yeah,
it's you became brave, or you have more eyes, more person that can decide what.
It gives you energy.
Yeah,
I mean,
it gives energy.
and it's and you can maybe do things that you wouldn't do by yourself because you wouldn't dare to do it.
No.
I agree, and I look forward the time after Corona when we could have workshops. We have been planning and dreaming about workshops, working physically together. So let's hope that time will come.
So thank you, but I still have one additional question. I didn't send it to you before. We have heard today very interesting speeches and which have dealt with materiality. And members of Artists O and Fiber Art Sweden are both active in visual art, design and crafts, and all have strong connection to the material, which often defines the work's concrete or conceptual content. So my question is, what do you think? Did a similar or almost similar attitude to the material influence the cooperation? Does this attitude towards material, does it influence in cooperation? Does it have any meanings of it? What do you think? Virpi, please.
Have to think.
You were always working with the space that you kind of landing in. So I was impressed how you brought the space to your work now, because of this short time that we could work on our pieces, that I could see the final kind of works at really late point, and it had already like again evolved. And then I saw like how you took the space here to your work. Is it anywhere near to you?
It's quite near.
Yeah. So how did you like feel about the material theme kind of in this? Was it difficult to find something, because you usually use the space, and you were not at all sure if you can get here, and
Yes, that was a new situation, because you often go to the to the exhibition and you have some days to build the installation on place, on set, or made a performance. You go there and feel the room, or so but now you have to do it from home and just seeing picture of the location. That was something else, but
because for me, when I see your works, Huggermugger's installation and Pia's work there, I think that they have there's so much in common, about, especially about the space and how to think about the space. And I was thinking that maybe it will make it easier to work together. But of course, I don't know. I'm just interested.
If there is some like similar thoughts
Yes.
beforehand. I don't know. I just think I learned fast from them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
What about Maria and Virpi? What do you think about this materiality and collaboration?
It somehow it's itsestään selvää. Yes, materiality and cooperation. Just it
It's
came.
part of you.
It's part. Maybe it's part of. Yeah, I think it's part of us. And yeah, can you express yourself?
Yeah, I think the material is important, or I probably depends also, but for us, I think the material has a meaning, and the tactility and
yeah, and somehow here the starting point when it was this lightness, so the materiality came. It was here was the link between text and like has been thought in today a lot between text and material and us. It was like that. Text, we, and material.
Triangle.
A triangle link.
Yeah, and I can also say that we use our bodies as a material.
yeah.
So
Yes.
kind of.
So thank you very much. And now I will ask if any of the audience have some questions. Please hold your hand and to the panelists. One of them or all to them. Now it's your possibility to ask. Hey.
I don't have a question. I have just something to add, and about the material. And as a starting point, I think we looked, Hugger and probably all of us, very much about the material in this building as inspiration, like the architecture and the time and all the different, very strong materials in the interior that we could see on the photos and the videos. So that was a starting point. And also we, I guess, chose Piia, not just because we liked her work, but also because she are doing ceramics, which we are not. So that's interesting because it's something else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Some other? There, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you. It's a wonderful discussion. We could keep going all night, all afternoon and all night. I'm sure, but we will continue upstairs at the opening. My question to you, our dear panelists, and also all of the audience, if you want to answer this, is if you have a message to the funders and decision makers, because we've been lucky to have this wonderful funding here, very generous from the foundations, and we will come back to them to thank them later. But would you have a message to do with enabling this kind of collaboration? Because obviously funding is always being cut and all that. But your message to the founders about, I mean, you already said many points of why this is important, but if you would just, send them a message why this kind of collaboration needs to be funded in the future as well, and why it is important and why you wish that it will continue. Your message to the decision makers. Thank you.
Just to support this kind of collaboration. So I think what we have done so much work, and so if now it has to end, if we have lack of money, it's very pity. So I hope those who give money, they also see what has been done before and support to go on projects.
Yes, I agree.
And this artistic work is like built on these layers and layers, and then this cooperation that I think it's like making better artworks in the end, and that's why it should be funded.
Gunnel, you have a question, please.
I have one message. I think reason why cooperating you have answered very well already, but one important thing is risk and trust and time for funders to. And I also think that's the opposite of cultural politics today, which is a lot about measuring and time limits. But to deepen collaboration and get a lot out of it takes time.
That's true.
And funders have to trust that there will happening something will happen and there will be result.
Yes, and you can't get quick results while working with art. It always took time, and this kind of collaboration, it needs to have time, and it will be the final result will be after several years. It's not like half year and it's done.
So there has to be new ways of measuring
Yes,
the result.
Yes, thank you.
I have one.
please.
Yes, no, these are very good points. Thank you, and I think especially this point of time and trust, and all the reasons that you gave previously of why it is important to work together is something that through the artist's work we can also in time show the value of collaboration and show best practices that can be shared with other sectors as well. You mentioned the climate crisis and how that solving that needs skills of collaboration, and I think and you all have shown that artists can show the way of how it is done and can show the value in collaboration, and if given time and trust and funding for that, those methods can become visible and can be shared. So thank you for your work.
And so Lotte, please.
Hello. I just wanted to say that this is so important part of the project that we are all gathered here, and that the Arbetsgruppen and the seminar and the artists met in this space, and we have been working together for some days, and this is so good ground for going even deeper. So I hope the founders will support us for the next part in Sweden.
So thank you. So any other questions, or do anybody want to say something? Oh, Laura, please.
Hello. Again, it's not a question, it's a comment. And it's about this, about funding and everything. I just want to say I worked in a work group for this exhibition for some years. And as we heard, that Virpi has been on this project more than 10 years. And I think that it's not just a link or project between us. It's going to be a link for so many people. We are gathered here. I meet you people, and through you, I will learn about other makers or professionals, so it's going to be, I think, not even tens or dozens people. It's going to be a link for hundreds of people through us. So it's kind of something that you cannot measure right now. It's going to be in the future, like increasing amount of links that we are going to have through this kind of projects. And this is, I think, a good point for us to remember that it's not just for us, it's going to be for our colleagues that we all have and different kind of yhteistyökumppanit, cooperation. So it's increasing amount of links that we are creating here. Thank you.
Thank you. And so maybe Tea, you will come here too, and perhaps you want to sit there. We are just closing the seminar because for me this was really a pleasure.
Thank you, Miia, and thank you to our panelists and our audience and participants. So it's been a great day. I think we've all been able to establish how important collaboration is. And thank you, Laura, for this last comment. I think this is exactly what this kind of network project is about, to start this whole chain of links through all of the participants here, because everyone here now present and who have been creating this first network will then be creating their own networks, who will then be creating their own networks. So it's just like a chain of links, really, that will continue and continue. And that is exactly what the aim of this project is, to enable more contacts and more collaboration across the geographic borders and also across the art forms. And it's wonderful to hear that you've enjoyed learning from the other artists and enjoy working with someone who has another, who works in another, with other methods or materials, or has another way of looking at the practice. So I think maybe if we want to summarize a little bit what we heard today, is one of the points of why collaboration is important, was mentioned by our panelists, is that it forces you to express yourself in a new way. And also because you possibly in different projects with different partners from other countries and other cultures, you use another kind of language. So maybe it's not your native tongue, you have to translate your thoughts. First you have to translate your process, like your experience of the material, your experience of your artistic process, and then you have to translate that into your own language and then into another language. So you work with understanding your artistic practice much better. And that was also mentioned, that this kind of having to explain your own work to the other and the others makes you understand your own artistic practice on a much deeper level. And that, of course, makes you develop as an artist and gives you new ideas to experiment with. And that was another theme that came up, experimenting and being brave. That when you work together with a partner, you get to do things that you maybe wouldn't dare to do if you were on your own. So that's always wonderful to hear, that you've had a playful attitude and been brave enough to try out new things. And also in that way get to know yourself better, try out your boundaries a little bit. And also you mentioned the relationship with space, how seeing space through another artist's eyes makes you kind of reevaluate the space and the object that you interact with, the space you work in, the space you move in, and see it with new eyes as well, which then gives you new ideas and makes you a better artist, but also maybe gives you then kind of an opportunity to try out something that you haven't maybe before done as well. also what you spoke about how you get inspiration from the others. That's of course very important, and I think that's something that a lot of artists who've been in artist residencies talk about. That you know, you need that kind of inspiration. You need something new to get your next phase going as an artist, and to understand where you are at on your path, as it were, as a developing artist during your lifetime. You talked about shared interest as well, and that's can be something that's really helpful. But I think that when you work with other artists, you don't necessarily need to have an understanding of the same material. But as you mentioned, you can have different backgrounds as well, as long as you somehow find that common language through art and through experimenting together. Yes, we talked about materiality and collaboration. We talked about what was difficult and rewarding, and it seems that mostly, even though you've been brave and tried out new things, that must have at some point, been difficult. But that's part of the work process, and you found that process rewarding. So that's wonderful to hear. As someone mentioned, that it's demanding, but it gives back to you. It is rewarding. So yes, did Miia had something you would like to add to this?
Just not about this panel discussion, but about this seminar. We have heard so many interesting speeches and discussion today, and I'm proud to be work in this community right now. This has been, but all this has been made possible by Finnish-Swedish cooperation. And without connection and collaboration between Artists O and Fiber Art Sweden, the whole seminar would not have been held. The cooperation between the Finnish and Swedish Art Association was found interesting here in Hanasaari, and thanks to this cooperation with Hanasaari, we have here now this wonderful exhibition, interesting seminar, and during the exhibition some workshops. Without partnership with Hanasaari, this would not be possible. And all this is made possible by the faith of our funders in the project. First of all, I need to mention Swedish-Finnish Cultural Foundation. It supports Hanasaari a lot, and we have got support too as associations. And then we have received support from Art Promotion Center, the Finnish Cultural Foundation's Uusimaa Regional Fund, and the Swedish Cultural Foundation in Finland. I will thank all our supporters to make this possible. And now the next is this coffee break, and at 4 o'clock we will start the opening ceremony in upstairs. Thank you.
I would like to add, can I add?
Yes.
Well done, Miia and Tea, thank you.
Thank you. And also, thank you to the working group, and thank you to everyone involved, all the technicians, all the communication people, everyone here at Hanaholmen, and all of you attending, both present and remotely. Thank you all. It's been a wonderful day, and let's continue someday again. Thank you all.